Hello. All right. Now I have no idea if the sound is going to be balanced in this thing, all right? But I'm going to do it this way. I have to do it with the open mics. It can't record the video and the headset. I could record a short one and check, but I'm not going to do it. So I'm just hoping that all the audio is audible. Now this is a 48-minute, 41-second video by Sargon of Akkad. So I have not watched this video. This is a cold watch of this video. I've seen like 35, 45 seconds in the beginning. I decided, well, I'll just watch this live. It's sort of a thing I thought I might do with certain kinds of videos, because often if I'm going to respond to one of your videos out there, people like a Hyphelade or Gary, whomever, you know, whatever kind of person or vlogger they are, if I'm going to be responding to them, I'll probably have watched their video a couple times by the time I respond. All right, I'll watch it and I'll go, huh, and I'll watch it again. And especially if I might have watched it while I was doing something else. You know, I listen to videos while I work. And if I hear something that's like, hey, I'd like to respond to that, you know, I feel free to just go ahead and then, you know, respond to that from that one little inspiration. But if I actually make a reply, like back in the days where you could attach a reply, you know, I would feel obligated to have actually watched the whole video and get everything in context. And so, you know, watching a video multiple times, being a part of the process, you know, sometimes you download the video and insert yourself or not, whatever. Once you've watched a video multiple times, you pretty much can absorb it to whatever degree you're going to be able to, right? Well, there's no chance I'm going to watch a 48-minute Sargon video. Can I just call you Sargon for short? You know, more than once. I mean, and if I make it all the way through while I'm doing other things, you know, that might be a reasonable expectation. But, you know, I'm not going to just sit and watch it. And I'm certainly not going to just sit and watch it multiple times. But I do like rambles, and he's on camera, which this is the first time I've ever seen that. So, this is he always kind of produces his videos, which is fine. Higher production values, not with video, but with clips and things. That is editing work, you know, and this one is a more vlog, you know, natural style, and I like that. So I just thought, yeah, I want to watch it and I want to answer it, but I'm not going to watch it 5 or 6 times to answer it. So what can I do? Well, I could do a live watch video, you know, a Mystery Science 3000 kind of thing, if I got that geek reference right, and where I might just pipe up while he's talking, or I might pause. And, you know, just as a warning, obviously, I'm already many, you know, minutes into my video, and we haven't even heard him. So we'll just see how it goes. And, you know, I don't know what it's going to be. So let's go.
A proper video about it. I want to talk about it as if we're just regular people, and we are going to consider each other's views before responding. And I realize that it's me giving a off-the-cuff monologue, but this will hopefully bring a discussion to light that I think needs to be had. The first thing
Big fan
that
of
we're going to talk about is ideological hegemony. You know, that thing that everyone's complaining that the social justice warriors were doing by enforcing political correctness and social justice in every space they go to, and marginalizing every other idea, which
right. So the issue is why would that have happened? Why would some of the social justice movement be inclined towards that? It's because, I'll just tell you right now, we feel that there is a traditionalist ideology, remarkably similar in different nations and cultures, right? Where the father is the boss and stuff, whether it's China, Japan, US, Europe, Africa, so that's interesting to a feminist. But it's beyond feminism. It's this hegemony of this whole basic idea and the king at the top, and the kings and the princes and princesses and stuff. So it's in reaction to this traditionalist ideology and the hegemony that it's had, not for a few decades, oh dear, but for tens, if not hundreds of centuries. At least tens of centuries. So anyway, okay, see, here we go. This is going to be a long video, but as I said, I probably will only get a few minutes into his video before this one's over, but hopefully he'll get to the gist early.
Is why a lot of people were in Gamergate to start with. That's happening inside Gamergate.
Oh yeah, so here's the thing. He's saying that there's a breakup and a political battle inside Gamergate. Glad to hear it. I was gonna say something else. You know what I noticed is funny about Gamergate? Now you got Watergate and stuff. Usually the gates are the name of the scandal. But in this case, I've seen a couple people describe Gamergate as the people that are pissed off about the corruption in video game journalism. It's just funny to even say. It's like, there's a corruption in Hollywood gossip journalism. Okay, but anyway, it's funny. Okay, so, so it's the group of people that are pushing that. Now, by the way, I'd like to say that it's pretty obvious that Gamergate's not about, oh my God, one girl slept with one guy in the press, and that's why we went to war with Iraq. It's really more, I think, about, or whatever, even if I'm wrong, I see it as I'm reacting to Gamergate as butthurtness about the fact that Anita Sarkeesian is pointing out that there's sexist tropes in video games, where it's like, to me, that's about as astounding as, like, what if all of the novels that were coming out, 90% of them, it wouldn't be all, were just action war novels, just novels about guys in war. If somebody said, hey, there's other kinds of stories, it's like, yeah, there is. Okay. Anyway, let's go. Okay, I guess we got to go over. Come on, Sargon.
And it's happening by people who are self-described militant, not militant, but hardliners. They literally have this in, say, their Twitter profile. This isn't acceptable, to me anyway. I am not going to accept someone else's ideological hegemony. If you can't accept a diversity of opinion, which is the only real diversity that there is, I am not interested. I'm not interested in what you have to say. I'm not interested in what you think you can contribute to a movement. And I'm not really interested in being part of that movement or contributing to it. Now, on BBC4 today, they have BBC Today, which is their, I guess, live regular program. And then there's a major hit piece against Gamergate. It was amazing. It was terrible. Absolutely terrible. So I decided to...
See, this is what I'm getting at. Against Gamergate. Yeah, he's talking. Gamergate means the people that are concerned. Gamergate is the name. Greg, I'm just asking. Gamergate is the name of the community of people that don't like Anita Sarkeesian, etc. against Gamergate. Like if somebody said, oh, these people that are against Watergate, what would that even mean except for maybe they're saying that Watergate wasn't important, right? Like the Gamergate, to be against Gamergate would be against thinking it was a big deal. I mean, according to, you know, Watergate and what all the other fucking things they've called this and that gate over the years. Gamergate. So Gamergate's like the group of people that are worried about one of a variety of possible things.
Write an email to them and say, hey, I have a problem with this. I'd like to come onto your program and talk to you. My credentials are the fact that I have a YouTube channel with a fair number of subscribers, and because of it, I'm quite used to public speaking, which is why you can see my face now. I'm making sure that I become accustomed to just being on the spot and being watched, even if it's just by a camera. I thought it would be a good idea to go and challenge what they had said. And to make sure they couldn't just ignore my email, I also tweeted the email to them so other people would see it to force a response. Now, people who are not happy that other people have a different perspective on how a consumer revolt should be handled from the perspective of an individual jumped on my back about this and attempted to, I don't know if the word is astroturf, I see lots of definitions for this phrase, but to stop what I was doing there and then without even thinking about the damage to their reputations that this hit piece had done. It was amazing. It was the stupidest thing I've ever seen in my fucking life.
I have no idea what's going on right now.
I can't remember the exact words.
I'm so confused. Wait a second.
But it was catastrophic.
Hold on, I'm going to get the guitar.
It's just hate group and everyone, and it's awful. And I'm thinking, wow, that's fucking so one-sided. There's so many good people in Gamergate. But there are also so many assholes in Gamergate. There are also so many people who don't understand that they have to tolerate the opinions of others and the methods of doing things for others. And while they are pontificating about how to do things, they are specifically acting like social justice warriors.
Oh, I so wish I knew who he's talking about. What? Yeah.
Of a guest editorial called Fuck PR
Fuck PR
by Christy Jr. on the Ralph Report. This is a prime example of this ideological hegemony that, and Christy Jr. says in his profile on Twitter, Gamergate's hardliner and Nintendo fan, pro free speech, anti-social justice warrior, fuck your pronouns. That's all well and good. You have those opinions if you want. If you force other people to have those opinions, Gamergate's will wither and die. Because you, Christy, are never getting on any wider platform than the Ralph Report. You are never going anywhere. That's not going beyond your little post. That's not going beyond Ralph's reach, however wide that is. I don't know what his numbers are. But it's never going any further. Never. No one is interested in talking to you. No one outside of your echo chamber is interested in hearing what you have to say. You will never present us to the public. You will never spread Gamergate's message. You, with this guest editorial, will only drive people. I'm going to explain to you exactly.
Oh my god.
So
that sounds terrible.
By saying, if you actually want Gamergate to grow, and you're not just a cosplaying SJW light trying to kill it from within, here's some advice.
If you want Gamergate to grow, if you want Watergate to grow, Gamergate to grow. Yeah, it's the community of people that want to defend games just being one way.
It's a dumb
that they already like.
Start. A really dumb start. You're not going to get Gamergate to grow with an attitude like that. You're going to shrink it. You're going to force out other people because you don't like them. You're talking specifically about Cult of Vivian, who has had a long-running feud with Ralph because she is on the more, I guess, politically correct side of the spectrum, and you are obviously not. Now, I personally don't agree. I don't have any kind of animus to it. I absolutely don't think that you should go and tell her or anyone else who agrees with her what to think. But you're going to. First, never play by SJW rules. Guilt by association is bullshit. You just use the phrase SJW.
All of the dark have disappeared.
Especially when applied to a consumer body or individuals. There is a reason The problem is that the worst elements of Gamergate keep making themselves very vocal. And instead of being told, hey, why don't you just do your own thing? You don't do your own thing. And this
Don't do your own thing.
There are militant anti-SJWs in Gamergate who are in it for ideological reasons. I mean, I'm not saying anyone isn't in it for ideological reasons, but you're only here because of
I'm not.
You don't care about any of the other things. I mean, there's literally something called ethics suck.
Skepticism is not an ideology because ideologies are dogmatic. Okay.
How
you're so rude. You don't stop talking when I'm trying to interject. And what I'm trying to say is that skepticism, Pyrrhonism, in other words, is not an ideology because ideologies are dogmatic. They believe that they have the solutions and some sort of final answers or hint that there is a final answer that they're the closest to or whatever their weird excuses about how they know how shit all works already. Skepticism says, let's keep, reading in data about things that are important to us and adjusting what we think we should do based on the whole variety of context and where people's heads are at a time. Things can change. We'll just keep checking. Therefore, that's separate from an ideology. That's a methodology. So I'm methodological as a skepticist. I'm not ideological. I'm not telling you what the results of your thinking should be. I'm telling you how clean your thinking should be, what the methods of your thinking should be.
We're giving Zokin money.
Though I've never actually told you that in particular. I mean in general, in an abstract sense, in the same sense in which you're talking, and some lawyers say this was not valid in certain states.
Yeah, and he was just like, is this not a conflict of interest? It's all about ethics. Sure, it's the social justice community that's the problem, but the issue is the ethics. I mean, if they were fucking giving to charities and doing good works, you wouldn't have a problem, would you? If they were like, hey, come and give me your opinion, you wouldn't have a problem with them. There'd be no reason to have a problem with them. The problem is what they do, not fucking what they are. But, well, that makes them what they are, but you know what I mean. Throwing your allies under the bus won't get biased, lying journalists to like you. You actually give them away.
He was 25.
It's amazing.
Oh, that's speed, John.
Well, put a pin in that. We'll come back.
I don't want to stay alive.
It's not lying journalists. You'll never get credit for distancing yourself from bad people because Gamergate Holding College was never about facts, just narrative. That's true. Why are you writing this then? What good are you going to? All you're doing is preaching to people who are really good. If you want to get people outside of Gamergate to listen,
says that was suicide
already. But someone thinks,
I don't need TV.
And you're going to have to fucking tolerate this Gamergate is going to shrivel and die. It already is, but it's going to get quicker.
I'm a doom. All the young do carry the news.
All you do by playing the social justice warrior game is encourage them to make more and more demands. Because of stupid misbehavior, nobody has obeyed social justice demands. However, there is a certain set of minimum standards that you have to adhere to get people to listen to you. If you can't adhere to them, no one's going to give you time.
Susie's looking sweet because he dresses like queens. Really sweet. It's a real mean baby, but we can love.
You know it.
We know.
I'm always very nervous.
My brother's back at home with his Beatles and Stones, and I never get off to that revolution show. Too many stacks.
For me,
such a drag.
Remember when you said consumer it's very simple. We are pro free speech.
Is this concrete all around, or is it in my head?
Oh, the ethics suck. Anti-corruption. Are they anti-SJW but such individualists, you, Christy Jr., are going to dictate to everyone.
I have to admit, I've not been listening the last few minutes. Okay, I forgot that I was recording, actually. And sorry about that. My bad. Don't know how many minutes that was. On the other hand, I didn't pause for a long time. That's good, right? Okay, let's start this up. Okay, 11 minutes. What are you talking about, Sargon?
What they think.
What I think?
Do you see
yes.
your own idiocy yet?
Do I see my...
Because it's really starting to fucking glare in my eyes.
Oh. Who's he talking about?
Obviously, we don't represent... Nobody fucking voted for you. Do you understand this?
Nobody voted.
Obviously, we don't represent those principles very well by sucking up to lying journals and pronoun police and others. Do we, Gamergate? Look, man, if you don't like that someone else likes personal pronouns, don't associate with them. Don't talk to them.
What?
Block them. There's nothing wrong with blocking people you don't want to deal with.
Are we... Okay, so I realized I just sort of, like, out of nowhere I got here, but blocking people because they like personal pronouns? I'm afraid I don't understand the context. I hope you guys were listening and know what's going on. Jesus.
I personally am happy to use someone's personal pronouns. I have a marked respect for that person. Because I just don't care enough either way. You know, or call me a chief, whatever. I just don't care. If you care enough that it's something you're bothered by, go ahead. Go fucking nuts. Go running naked through the fields calling Brown and John Flynn. I don't care. Why are you writing this post? Because you fucking care.
It's obviously not talking to me, I guess.
Defending
right?
censorship, whether on Kotaku Action or Gamergate HQ, also makes a mockery of our professed principles. Our principles. These are your principles. They are also my principles, but that doesn't matter. They're not Cult of Vivian's principles. And she may well just be here for the ethics. Some people are. But you aren't happy with this sort of thing. If you don't like each other, fucking ignore each other. There's nothing wrong with Gamergate's principles. They're actually very popular. Watered down and compromised, however, they don't back as much of a punch. They're not being compromised because Gamergate doesn't have a set of rules. There is no manifesto. Sorry, you didn't do this.
Oh, yeah.
It's a fucking consumer revolt. Some people in it for different reasons from you. Instead of diluting our principles, find a way to effectively reach out to people who already know what they're doing.
I'm a sinner. I'm a lover.
That is marvelous. I would suggest that we should, in fact, look at the people we're dealing with and approach them and attack they will understand, rather than attack that maybe certain people like. I mean, I just think of some irrelevant HMV who you just should get rid of. I mean, maybe there's a reason that certain people want to talk about ethics over other things because of the people they're talking to. You're about to go into this. Don't insist on primarily talking ethics from exploring Gamergate. Came with a message to the personal group receiving it. I am always talking to people who are primarily interested in talking ethics. Do you understand? This fucking ethics only nonsense came from you, bullshitters. I talk to journalists. I talk to the media. I talk to people who do not give a shit about ideological Joker. Lots of people. Not everyone is on an ideological crusade.
I don't want to hurt no
one. Not necessarily the danger.
I hope this is getting picked up.
Is that useful to bring up?
This is me at my peak.
Do you cretins understand this? Or do you see everything from your own blinkered perspectives? But this again is the point that really annoys me. You can't just fuck off. Just do your own fucking thing. You don't like what someone's doing, but now you've got to write this fucking blog post. You can't just go and do what you want to someone else, to somewhere else. You can't do this. Take the message to the person who couldn't see it.
Why should he?
I fucking thought of that. We're talking to Nintendo fans.
Why should they go do what they want to some feminists? It's the same thing between Sargon and some feminists. It's like the feminists could say, why don't you go do that to someone else that's in another country? Why don't you go do it to a terrorist? Why don't you go? They chose you as a target. Welcome to activism, Sargon. You choose the target, you complain about him. It's both because the target is a problem for you and also because it's an example for other people. So you're talking in the public to everybody. You're saying, hey, Sargon's this problem. I'm telling everybody. And you're saying, Sargon, oh, Anita Sarkeesian's the problem, and I'm telling everybody. The same right that you have to criticize her and go into everybody. Notice it's a criticism. It goes at every scale. It's like microscopic science. You know, you go down to the microscopic level and you see little animals running around. They're single-celled creatures with their little devices and appendages and, you know, their features of their system and whether they're hunters and predators or collectors or whatever they are. You see this, and it's like what you see is what you get. Okay, let's go.
There's one consistent Nintendo bias. The Gamergate has been guilty of for years until the libertarians.
People keep talking about me, baby. Yeah.
I'm not talking to them.
They say I'm doing you wrong, Don't worry, baby, don't you worry.
When talking to conservatives, emphasize how Gamergate is fighting SJW's political correctness. This stuff actually works. Well, possibly. Remember Gamergate. Millions of people are sick and tired of political correctness and identity politics. Those are potential supporters. If you limit yourselves to people,
you're the cutest thing I ever did see.
Oh, yeah. So many people.
You love your peaches, won't shake your feet.
It's not from the especially when people need to spread a message. I'm all for this kind of grassroots activism. Go to the pub. Go talk to some guy in the pub and be like, hey, yeah.
Right.
This game thing. Yeah, something about blah, blah, blah. Well, it's actually this, these free speeches are great. Great fucking hack. But in public, on Twitter, and on YouTube videos, and in any kind of discussion with the media, you have to talk about ethics. That's why the SPJ happened. It has to be about that. I mean, it's very rare that anyone really is going to be interested in talking ideological differences. It's just so fucking rare. You're going to get no traction at all. But if you talk ethics, there's no opponent. There's no one on the other side of an ethics conversation. Do you understand?
I was dancing when I was out.
Try to take me proof that you don't know everything.
I was dancing when I was out.
It's the approach I take whenever I'm doing anything. That's why I read my comments. I know some things. I know these things. Because this is what I've been dealing with for the past year and a half.
That's myself out. Danced myself out of the way.
Also, feel free to argue, but don't expect to get very comfortable others to talk about it.
Is it wrong to dance so soon?
You unironically fucking wrong.
Is it wrong to dance so
Worrying so much about
soon?
others and Gamergate being too rude or extreme is a waste of time and energy. Worrying about others wanting to talk solely about ethics is a waste of your time and energy. You can't control them, and if you're being serious and supporting their principles, you wouldn't want to control them either.
What's inside
What
a
do you
man?
think you're trying to do? What do you think?
Is it wrong to have a plan?
I mean, look at twisting with this. I bet you're just such a
Is it
fucking
wrong
idiot.
to make me
I'm really mad. I would, honestly, I would make this is the question here. I'm fucking guilty of causing left-wing political views is ultimately PR gold. Because not everyone in Gamergate is right-wing. I'm sorry. Do you believe the media is that biased in favor of the left? It is. If so, challenge it. Don't play an obviously rigged game, and you will be speaking into your echo chambers because no one is going to fucking listen to you. Most of this isn't even about PR or left wing. Most of this is acting like an adult in the real world and having respect for other human beings on the same level as you. I don't know how old this person is, but holy shit, it doesn't sound like they're very old. It doesn't sound like they have much experience of the real world. If you want to get anything done, you have to rely on the goodwill of others, which means you have to be polite and respectful and listen to them when they're talking. Do you believe the left is very superior to the right? Who gives a shit? If you're talking about ethics, you don't need to talk about left and right. You don't need to make this partisan. You are making this partisan. No one else is. You're doing this right now. This is what you're advocating for. I'm advocating for ignoring partisan politics, talking about the ethics violations that have occurred, that we can go to other press about and talk. Why are you not talking about going to the press and saying, hey, you're the Society of Professional Journalists and a bomb threat of a Gamergate? I'm not a journalist. That is something we can actually talk about. If I can get a fucking interview on the BBC, that's exactly what I'm going to talk about. I'm going to shame them. I'm going to say, hey, why aren't you talking about this? Why are you hate my bomb threats to journalists? Are you not interested in that? But you fucking idiots. That's the fucking stupid. You sit in the fucking echo chambers, you're not actually listening to anyone else. You believe the left is inherently superior to the right side of history, if you will. Game of Guns is the other way power. I'm sure you know exactly where Game of Guns is. Fucking GG Revolt is right around the corner. Stuff like misgendering, I advocate traditional generosity. When he seems heretical because of the spaces you have. It's a classic movie I know voted for Nixon's illusion. Nobody you know voted for ethics. Isn't Gamergate supposed to represent greater intellectual diversity in the world? Why are you trying to stamp it out? So if you don't like it, ignore them. And you know what? When they're like, hey, you have to respect Brandon's pronouns, I'm happy to tell them to shut up as well. So I remember doing so on Kotaku Action a while ago. where someone goes, "Oh, look, if it's not you that's being directly affected, shut up. It's nothing to do with you. Let them do what they want, but in return, you have to let them do what they want." One more thing. The whole Gamergate as a self-explain for own bad press. SJW likes narrative is complete and utter bullshit. That's from the one black word and that's it. One coverage from the same journal. Because these journalists are social justice warriors. They like Black Lives Matter because they're black people. And on the progressive stack, black people are apparently a lot lower than white people. Gamergate has white people in it. It's not about colour, it's not about race. Gamergate is about ideology, it's about thought. This is the issue, it's completely different. And with Black Lives Matter, the enemy is not the progressive press, you fucking idiots. The enemy is the US fucking government and police and authorities. The power structures in the United States are the enemy, which, lo and behold, are the same enemy for the progressives. They're not like the US cops. We are having a problem with the fucking press. They are.
Well, this is great. Infighting. Finally, it's inevitable in any brand new activist movement. Infighting. Oh, maybe you guys should pass the feather to who gets to talk. Oh, I couldn't be happier. Look, and I got 23 minutes in by, playing pretend. I listened to it. I was occupied some of the time, but it's not perfect. It's an experiment. What do you want? Bye. Certainly a way to shut this down.